So today I want to give you another hack for your intuition. So this hack comes from understanding that when we're working with our intuition, just like most energy work, just the way that your mind works, it's got all to do with focus and intention. So if you want your intuition to give you clearer answers, if you want it to work for you more precisely or in a way that gives you more practical results, what you need to do is you need to either set a clearer intention or, which is the thing that I'm going to talk about today, you want to actually set a clearer focus. So the way to do that is to ask a better question. Now, in order to do that, I guess you need to know how to ask good questions, because the more specific it is, the more positive it is, the more aligned it is really to what you want, well, the better it's going to work. Now, the particular question I'm talking about is, a lot of us tend to ask ourselves, can I do this? Can I be successful in my chosen field? Can I create the relationship that I want? Can I heal myself from whatever past trauma or illness that you might be working through? Well, see, the problem with that question is that it's not a very useful question. And it's not a very useful question because there's not much upside. So the upside is, well, the answer is just yes. Well, okay, cool. But what can you do with that? You're really no further forward. And of course, you might actually tell yourself, no, I can't. And then you've just stopped yourself. So asking yourself, can I do this? It's not a good question to ask, because it's sort of like not much upside and it's all downside, because you could end up stopping yourself by asking that question. But with one little tweak, which is the hack, you can change the question to having all upside and basically no downside. And that question is, how can I do this? So, because when you ask yourself, how can you do this? You're actually getting your mind to focus on the outcome that you want and with the intention that you are going to get there. So when we ask ourselves, can I do this? All that you're focusing on is, well, what is the likelihood of me getting it? That's not really helpful. Whereas if we focus on, well, how can I do this? Well, your mind will, and the more you practice it, the more it will happen. Your mind will immediately start to focus on the path from where you are to where you want to go, which is sort of like the external alignment part of your intuition. And then you'll start to get some sense of what that is. So it will give you immediate practical results. So there's all this upside. It will show you how to do it. And you can tweak it further by going, well, how can I do this gracefully and easily? Which is the way I like to ask the question. So what about the downside? Well, the thing is when you ask yourself, how can I do this? Actually, there is no downside to that question, because you're assuming that there is a way. And it's interesting how often they've shown that when people assume that there is a way, they find a way. From the 4-minute mile, like there was the guy, Bannister, who broke the 4-minute mile, and within weeks of him doing it, lots and lots of people had done it. But up until the time that he did it, people kept saying, oh, you can't do it. It's beyond the human body. The human body would just break down if you tried to run faster than, a mile in 4 minutes. And they've done it with other things. Like apparently during the Cold War, there was a story about they got a bunch of scientists together, and I'm actually not sure what they were working on, but they said to the scientists, because the scientists kept saying, oh, whatever this problem was they were working on, oh, you can't do it, it's impossible, whatever. And then during the Cold War, they got this bunch of scientists and they put them into a facility, and they said, look, we need you guys to solve this because the Russians have solved it, and so we need to catch up, you need to find an answer. So they found an answer in 6 weeks, because they had actually been told that there was a way. So that focused their mind on, well, how do we do it? They stopped asking, can we do it? And they started asking, how can we do it? So there you are. There's that, your intuitive hack. And it's a good one. It's one that I've used to solve problems time and time again. And of course, the more that we can solve our problems, the more brilliant that we start to, find that we start to find those more brilliant solutions. So until next time, remember that you're brilliant.